So check this out, man. It's the Griot. I'm just here to speak something to y'all real quick, man. So I was just checking out the whole thing, how they're doing this whole thing about, this. How am I gonna call it? The CV disease, right? That you know what I mean? The C19. We'll call it C19, right? So what I think is this. For one, this was the biggest medical Ponzi scheme that's ever been pulled ever. Now, personally, what white supremacy is going to fall, and we know that. And part of white supremacy's fall, the big part of white supremacy's fall, is going to be the fall of America. There's people out here, man. There's people out here, so it's the fall of America, right? So the fall of America is going to be the beachhead of white supremacy falling. So in the Bible, as it talks about how there's going to be, diseases, or plagues, it talked about plagues and wars and rumors of wars and everything like that, right? Which is true. But my personal assessment is that that's coming, right? And some people would argue, it's part of America's plagues being here, and it's the C19 thing is part of America's plagues that in the Bible it speaks of, right? Personally, I don't think that we're there yet. I think that when the Bible says Babylon is falling, America's falling economically because America's greed is eating itself alive. Now, the C19 thing, I think, was cooked up. I think it was cooked up, and I think it was put out there. But I personally think that elites, white supremacists, I think it was a conjoined effort, and it was planned to say, look, okay, let's do this. They was looking at what was going on in the world and in America. These people out here grinding. White supremacy is still strong, but people was out here grinding. Black media gaining ground. A lot of good stuff happening. A lot of people, on a ratchet level, a lot of people out here having fun, doing things they want to do. But the struggle is still here. But so the elites sit back and they take social litmus tests and they go, okay, people out here moving, and we're greedy, and we're getting greedier. Never mind the corporations are allowed to run rampant and be cheap with their workers because they're, the American government and corporations have an incestuous economic relationship, so they're allowed to do that. That's another video. But anyway, so what happens is that I literally think they sat back and said, you know what? We're greedy, so let's find a way to pay ourselves and give the people the crumbs so that it doesn't look like an obvious money grab for us, at least to most of the masses that are just happy to be here and get by and are complicit in being slaves. So they said, all right, well, what bigger way to find an excuse to pay yourself? Crisis. Just like they did in the housing crisis with the whole thing with Obama and GM and all that. Crisis. That's the biggest, most greatest excuse you can have in paying yourself governmentally. Because they say, hey, we need this, we need economic relief, we're in a crisis. So we're going to dig into this bank of all the money that the corporations have been enslaving the people on, and that black people, particularly foundational black people, help to maintain and drive this prison system that we got, which we're disproportionately in. And we're making a lot of money out that, and the corporations are making money out that, and so on. So they said, what better way to do it? Let's do a medical crisis now. Let's run a medical Ponzi scheme so we can get paid in and out. So let's cook this little batch of disease that we experiment with. Let's kind of put it out there. Now, we know it has a low death rate, right? We know it has a low death rate compared to the numbers that are people that are going to be infected and recover from it. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's say that there's this rampant thing going on out here and it's killing people and we got to shut everything down. So now corporations could get economic relief now because there's a crisis there. We got to shut everything down. Hey, the people are in crisis now because now they can't go to work. So you know what? We can break them off some crumbs off the big pie that we can pay ourselves. And you know what? They'll fall for it. You know what we'll do? We'll put out the biggest scientists in the world and they'll back it up and say that, yes, this is a legit medical crisis that's going on. Okay? So let's put up people like, Dr. Fauci and say, hey, you guys better wear these masks and stuff and you stay home and you don't even get to see your own family members. And we can make $16 trillion and more in 1 year. That's just off the economic relief that they pay themselves from. We can make, and you know what? I really believe they said, let's run this out for a year. How's it ironic that most of the country gets opened back up a year later? Let's run this for a year. Because by then the people are going to be saying, we got to get back to work. And they were actually saying that way before the year. So, okay. Now let's put this, this thing you got to take for it, and we're gonna get paid there too. So let's bring in these three companies. Okay, let's bring in Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, all these guys, and let's pay them too. We can get paid there too. Yeah, we can open it back up, and now we can get paid off slaving the people again like normal. But we had to take a big bite real quick because we greedy and we getting greedier. Having said that, I don't think the whole plague thing is here yet. I think America's going to eat itself alive economically first, and then when the plagues come, they're not going to have any economic defense for it. They're not even going to be able to conjure up an economic defense for it because they're going to eat themselves alive first. So it ain't here yet. So this whole thing about you got to go get this thing for it is a test run for that mark that you're going to have to get later on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And you know what they're going to say? Mark my word. You know what they're going to say? That the whole mark thing is going to be for? They're going to say, you know what? This thing has make you defensible to any disease, virtually any disease. Almost every vaccine is in it. They'll come up with a super vaccine and tell you that, you know what? You're going to have to get this now, and if you don't, you're going to be a medical biohazard. Hey, but if I take it and I'm good, aren't I protected from the person that doesn't take it? So don't listen to this herd immunity garbage either. How are you going to say herd immunity and then say that, you know what, you better, if you don't take the thing that everybody's taking, that you're going to be a problem? How am I a problem? You got it. I don't have it. You got the, you should be protected from me and I'm already fine. Right? What's the point? This is what I'm talking about. This is a Ponzi scheme, the biggest one that's ever been ran in American history. Don't fall for it. And a lot of people didn't fall for it. I'm not saying it wasn't real and that it wasn't killing people and that it doesn't kill people. But it's overblown way more than what it is. They didn't do that for HIV, didn't they? You would have thought they would have did that for HIV. Oh no, because it's only sexually transmitted. Yeah, but there was no guidelines put in place. There was no enforced guidelines put in place to put an end to that. There was none. They actually put enforced guidelines into this thing. How come you didn't do it for that? I mean, none. You know what they did? You know what they did? You know what the medical guideline for that was? Oh, go out and get a condom. And you know what? Don't have sex unprotected. That's the only thing they said. It's the only thing they said. So what I'm saying is, don't fall for everything. Just know that people know on the ground how bad it really is. You ain't got to listen to the lies from the media. You know what it is. People know what it is on the ground. You know what it is. You don't have to hear lies from the white media. Don't fall for it. If they're saying it's that and it don't match up to what you're experiencing on the ground, I'm talking about as a group, I'm talking about particularly black people, foundational blacks, if it don't match up to what you're feeling, then just know that it's way overblown. It's not what they say. As I always tell y'all, man, stay up and stay tuned. More videos coming in the future. Be one.